Overwhelm. This is my overwhelmed bucket. So I think it's really important for it to be identified that someone with autism can do things that are overwhelming for them, but they can't do it consistently all the time. Mary said earlier, she knew yesterday was going to be a busy day, she went for a run. She's adjusted her kind of needs around that, yeah.
My chemical balance was right for the day.
Well, it wasn't because it was still hard, but...
It was still hard.
I was not prepared at all for yesterday because I just thought we'd rock up, have a bit of cake, sit with my safe humans, and I walked in and I was put on a table with, like it was like speed dating, with people I know because I work with them kind of externally, but they're not safe humans, on a table with one of the real grown-ups. So I'm thinking, I'm going to fidget, I'm going to move. I can't, and it was just too much and I was not prepared. So my overwhelm levels were kind of rising before we'd even done anything. Then I was thinking about the fact that I'd brought a water bottle, but they provided water, and then I thought they might think I'm rude that I've brought a water bottle.
I was excited because they were fancy water bottles.
They were fancy. I felt like we were in the grown-ups yesterday. And we were like that, just very aware of the fact that we felt very imposters.
That we didn't fit in.
Yeah, we didn't.
We were different yesterday.
And then I nearly tipped over my chair because it was weighted weird. Oh, it was strange. Anyway, so this is overwhelm. So people that struggle with overwhelm, they may struggle with something one day and not another. And it's not that they're picking and choosing, which I think sometimes it can be understood from education. Well, they can do it today. My son's Cubs leader always says to me, he doesn't need his ear defenders when he's making the noise. Well, no, he won't. But when you're all shouting at the beginning, yes, he does need them because of the echo. It's a bit blurry, but all those things that are coming into that bucket are things that are either being expected of us, or they're things that impact our day. So if you've got socks on that are bothering you, that's part of your bucket overwhelm.
No socks.
She's managed it. That will add to an overwhelm, and then that will build up and build up and build up. And the straw that breaks the camel's back, which is an idiom that young people don't understand, and we still use it, including myself, will be something absolutely unrelated, completely unrelated to what you're dealing with. And when you get to the root of it, it'll be their socks felt weird. And you're not going to know that, but they expect you to know that because they don't understand where we end and they start. So they expect you to understand that their socks feel weird, and they shouldn't have to tell you that. That's hard for them to understand that we don't know that. But what you can see at the bottom, there's little drips coming down the bottom. They're the things that bring them joy. And they're falling out the bottom because their bucket's overwhelmed. So they're the things that may be stimming, or things that they really like, they're hyper-focused, like trains, all of that kind of stuff's falling out the bottom. So the more that we add to their overwhelm, the harder it is for them to regulate, because they have to give up time for things that they do like. So it's really hard to find a balance, and we're never going to get it right. Which is quite depressing, isn't it?
How can I help? What do you want me to do? Are good questions.
What do you need in this moment?
So if you've got somebody who's really obviously, how can I help? Because they will give you something to take away. It may not be the thing that's overwhelming them, but it's one less thing.
Or naming it. Sometimes people will say, this morning, we were awful this morning because we were like recovering from yesterday. And I was like, we are so dysregulated right now. Like, we were just mad. It was good it was just us two, because everyone else would have been like... But that was enough. Being able to name it out loud and go, oh, I'm so like, ugh. And then it was like, okay, cool. And then we became professional and did the meeting we had to do, which was very grown up and stuff like that.
I like the meeting.
It was a good meeting, to be fair.